This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. We're having a little bit of a look at this today. You possibly saw me giving this its initial first impressions review on Thursday. This is my new amp. This, yes indeed, it is an amp. It looks like a multi-effects pedal or something like that, but it is in fact a 100 watt tube driven or nano tube driven guitar amp, the BluGuitar Amp, brainchild of kind of renowned session guitarist Thomas Blug. Basically, you've got a 100 watt amp in this little box here. You've got a clean channel and choice of 3 different overdrive channels. We're going to hear what those sound like in a moment, and basically all the usual amp controls: volume, gain, bass, middle, treble, all that sort of stuff. So before we go any further, let's have a little bit of a listen to what this amp sounds like when it's being used in a mix. And a little bit of housekeeping. There is a full tab for that piece of music in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it and a jam track for you to play along with yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address and the link is in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down below. Yeah, I just need to mention, as well as the controls on the front panel here, you've got these little kind of fine-tuning controls here where you can basically dial the tone in just that little bit extra. Things like you've got a foot switchable boost thing here that works on all of the sounds, and you can control how much of a boost you're getting there, and just general kind of volume controls for the different overdrive sounds there, and tone settings and stuff like that. If you watch my original review of the Iridium edition of this that went out just before Christmas, then you'll have seen me kind of going into a bit more detail with that. All the connections you're going to need around the back, input, effects loop, recording output that I was using in that little demo, speaker, 8 and 16 ohm speaker outputs, and an external foot switch, so you can kind of go between all of the different sounds and not have to use the little kind of knob on rotary knob on the front of the on the top. Is that front or the top? Basically on the panel, let's say, of the amp to switch between kind of the different modes of overdrive. Anyway, let's just take a little bit more of a look at some of the finer details of what's going on this wonderful little amp. And well, I made this little clip earlier that kind of takes you through the sort of sounds that it creates. Okay, as you can see, I'm dialed in onto the clean channel of the BluGuitar amp at the moment, coming out of the recording output and going into the interface, and I'm recording it in Reaper. I'm not at the moment using the reverb that's built into the amp. I've got a little bit of reverb running in Reaper, as well as a fantastic little plugin, free plugin, called Voxengo Stereo Touch, which just gives me a bit of stereo wideness. I've got a humbucker equipped guitar here, bridge pickup, and on the clean channel with those conditions it sounds like this. A very pleasant, fendery, clean tone. I'll tell you what, let's take off these two effects that I've got running in Reaper, the Stereo Touch and the built-in reverb in Reaper, and let's have a listen to what the reverb on the amp sounds like. So that's quite a pleasant, unobtrusive reverb. I like reverb to be the kind of effect that you notice when it isn't there, and that sort of fulfills that brief. I'm going to leave those effects off on in Reaper for the moment. What I can now do is I can switch to any one of the three different overdrive settings, and this is a really great one here, this vintage setting. It's got a very plexi-like tone to it, like this. And you can probably hear the noise gate just chopping off the reverb there. That tends to be why I like to add reverb after the fact. Great noise gate on this little amp as well. It's got three settings, and basically off, or like a soft noise gate, or like a really kind of tight metal setting, which is the one I use, especially when I'm doing kind of lead parts and stuff. Onto any of these channels you can add a boost function, so let's have a look at the boost on the vintage setting. Sounds like this. Which is very pleasing indeed, I think. Going round to the classic setting, you can. This has more of a sort of a JCM 800 kind of tone to it, a bit like this. And that was, of course, with the boost on. I forgot to turn the boost off. That was the tone I was using for the solos in that piece at the top of the video. Let's turn the boost off and hear what that sounds like. A very pleasing, martial, kind of grunty kind of sound. That classic setting there is with the boost on, tends to be what I would normally go for a big kind of soloing sort of sound. Let's go to the modern voicing now. This has got a little bit more of the maybe a boogie or soldano kind of feel to it, which sounds like this. And then if you want, you know, levels of gain that I would probably never go near, you can throw the boost onto that as well. So that, you know, a bit too much gain for me, even though you can say I haven't got the gain set very high. It's just at about 5 o'clock. So absolutely oodles of gain on tap from this lovely little thing here. As I say, I tend to prefer the classic setting, and I'm just going to turn the reverb off on here and go back to the inbuilt effects in Reaper, the stereo touch and the built-in reverb, and this is essentially the tone I was using for the solos in that piece. And as you can hear, when I stop playing, quiet as the grave, there is absolutely no noise coming through on this. It's a fantastic noise gate. It's probably one of the things that I like most about, well, apart from the tones, one of the things I like most about this little amp here. Just such a, it's a very good noise gate at getting rid of noise, but it rarely gets in the way, which is something that a noise gate can often do. So there's just a few of the sounds that you can get out of the BluGuitar Amp1 Mercury edition. So there you go. This is now my main amplifier. In case you're wondering what happened to the little Marshall DSL-1, it's not in the best of health, I'm afraid. Yeah, it just started making an god-awful racket the other day when I was plugged into it. You know that noise you get when you plug a lead into an amp and then touch the end of the lead? It was that. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. It's possibly valves that are going to need, you know, basically replacing, but I've never had bad valves give me that symptom before. Let me know if you know any different. But anyway, it is living up to Marshall's usual reputation for reliability, or certainly in my experience anyway. But this is now my main amp, the BluGuitar Amp1. I am incredibly pleased with the sounds I'm getting from it, and I think I'm going to have some fun with this, and yeah, very, very pleased with my purchase. So there you go, folks. That is my review of the Thomas Blug BluGuitar Amp1 Mercury edition. This is the one that is a little bit more kind of classic rock, blues rock orientated, rather than the Iridium one that I reviewed, thanks to Craig, who loaned me it just before Christmas. That's the review. Make of it what you will. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it entertaining and informative in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars. What a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.